welcome to another Unity 5 tutorial. In this short tutorial, I want to show you how to keep music running right from the main menu throughout your game, no matter what scenes you change to. So what I've set up so far is a very simple menu system with a play button which goes to another scene. So if I play this, it starts in this main menu scene that I've created, which is just a panel with some text and a play button. Press that play button and it goes to the game scene, which is this one here. And all the game scene has in it is a cube and a back to menu button, so that we can just switch between each of those scenes. Now, what happens when you go to a new scene is that all the assets in the hierarchy get unloaded. And if you have a look at the assets that are in this one, when I press the play button, you'll notice that as soon as the next scene loads, we get this cube, which is sitting in the middle of the scene, and we get a back button instead of the other canvas that has the play button on it. Now, let's create some music for this. So I'm going to create an empty game object, and let's call that background music. And I will drag on a file audio clip that I made previously. So this is just a little file that I want to loop over and over in the background. So with this in the scene, if I press play, it's going to start playing that music. But as soon as I hit the play button and it goes to the next scene, the background music object has disappeared. Now, it's disappeared because it doesn't actually exist in this scene. We didn't create it in this scene. We created it in the main menu scene. Now, the problem with creating it in the game scene is that if I go to the game scene very quickly and create a background music object in here, then when we switch from one scene to the other, the music will start playing right from the beginning again. So you're still going to hear a jitter in the music. You're not going to get a seamless playthrough of the music. So the way to fix this is that we create an object that won't be destroyed when something else loads. To do that, you first of all need to make sure that your object can be identified. So we've got this background music object, and I'm going to tag that with something that we know to look for. In this case, let's call it music. So I've already created a new tag with add tag, and I've made it music with lowercase m, and I'll just click on that, and that will set this background music object to have a music tag. Alright, so now we have to write some script that will go onto this object and tell it not to be destroyed ever. So let's go down here and open up this C# script that I created. I've called it Don't Destroy, and it looks like this. So inside it, it has just an awake function so that it will run as soon as that object gets created. And then as soon as it gets created, what it does is it goes through and checks how many objects are in the scene that are called music or that are tagged with music, and picks them all up and counts them basically into this array. Now, if it finds more than one object, it means that the object currently running this code is the second object of this type, so therefore we should destroy it. So if you're the second instance of a music object, destroy yourself, because you know there's already one in the scene. Now after that, if you happen to be the only one in the scene, then we run this DontDestroyOnLoad function on the particular game object itself, which tells that object to stay alive all of the time. Now, why do we do this counting thing when you've only got one object in there? Okay, if I just comment this out, let's have a look. Comment this out and save it. And we will just tell the background music object not to destroy itself. Let's go back into here and we'll attach that script, Don't Destroy, onto the background music object. And let's just check that it's on there. Right, so let's run it. All right, so it's playing, it's in the scene. Let's go play. Okay, it's seamlessly played. It's still in the scene. Now that little hiccup you heard was the actual in the game loop itself when it loops around, but it still is playing seamlessly. Okay, now when we go back to the main menu, we have this problem is that we've loaded the main menu scene again, and remember that menu scene creates a background music object, and you'll see in the hierarchy that you now have 2 copies of it. And you can hear that it's playing 2 lots of that background music. Let me turn that off. Right, so let's go back to the script. And that's why we have this count in here, so that when you go back to the actual scene that created that object in the first place, is it doesn't create another copy of itself so that you end up with 2 of them. So it always looks for things that are tagged with music and make sure there's only 1 in there. So I'm going to save this now, and let's just have another little playthrough and check that we get our background music only once. So it's seamlessly playing, and it's still seamlessly playing, and I've only ever got 1 background music in there. Alright, so that's how to create an object that exists for your entire game that doesn't get destroyed and only ever has 1 copy of it. So you can create a number of different objects like this. For example, if you wanted an object that saved all of the current game save data that you wanted to take with you through each scene, or any other information for that matter, you can put it into a script on an object and always know that anything you've set, values you've set in one scene on that object, so if you have a bunch of variables here and you set them to something, that they will stay like that. They won't get reinitialized back to 0 or whatever, and they will continue to live throughout your entire project, and you will never get an extra copy of it causing you problems.